Today I'm going to take you through the inventory functionality in SAP Business One for those kinds of businesses who are managing inventory on a daily basis, and how SAP Business One can really help you streamline those processes. In addition, I'm also going to show you how you can use the inventory functionality even if you don't stock products, and how you can take advantage of those functionalities, for example, if you're selling services. So let's go and have a look at exactly how it works. So within the inventory management module in SAP Business One, there is a couple of key areas and functionalities that you need to be aware of. First thing, I think it's important to get a bit of an understanding of what each of these functionalities are and what they represent. When it comes to your item master data inside your inventory module, there is a very specific way that it's laid out in SAP Business One. So we'll navigate to a product, and then we'll take a look and see what we've got here. So when we import our product, I've got my item number. I can also record a barcode, because with SAP Business One you can utilize barcodes right throughout the entire system. I can put in a description. I can even have descriptions in foreign languages. I'm able to group my products together by the item type. I'm also able to put my items in different product groups. What this enables me to do is set all of these parameters that are in the particular product and have those parameters be able to be changed en masse. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we look at the setting up of the item groups. I can specify here whether the product is or is not an item that I keep in stock. So that's why I've ticked the inventory item up here. If an item is an item that I would like to be able to sell throughout my sales functions, I tick the sales item options here. If it's an item I want to be able to purchase through my purchasing functions, I tick the purchase item option there. I'm also able to specify the price list that I want to use for this specific item, and also specify the unit price for this specific item. I can specify then which of my manufacturers is the manufacturer that manufactures the item. I can specify a shipping type for this product, and then I'm also able to specify, when I first set the product up, if there's serial numbers or batch number to be managed. I'm able to set if this item will be active at some specific period, will it be inactive, or do I want to use the advanced feature for the availability of this item. So I can set a specific active range and an inactive range, set remarks just so my employees know why is that set in that way. I can also specify my country of origin from a drop-down list of the countries. I can also use the standard item identification. I can also offer some commodity classification, so basically give some more general details about the item. So in the purchasing data tab, I'm able to specify which supplier I want to purchase this product from. I can put in a manufacturer's catalog number. Now the great thing with all of those different things that I can place in here in my data for purchasing and for the same token in my sales data is that when I'm entering a purchase order, I can use the supplier's catalog number to enter my purchase order, and when I'm creating a sales order and I'm selling products, I can use the customer's version of the inventory item code to process the sales order. So again, SAP gives you that flexibility. I could buy this product in boxes. So if I was to set here package type to be a box, I can buy it with a quantity of 96 per box, but I can sell it in 6 packs. So I can specify that in my sales data, where I would choose a different type of packaging in my sales data. So let's say I want to sell it in cases, and I want to sell them in cases with the quantity per package of 12. I can simply update it, and now I can see that I purchased this item through a packaging type which is box with the quantity of 96 per box, and I'm selling it in cases with the quantity of 12. So as we can see, there's a lot of flexibility around that. I can control that valuation method I want to use in my inventory data. I can control what valuation method I want to use. Do I want to use standard cost? Do I want to use first in, first out? Do I want to use moving average? Again, I set those the very first time once I started entering the transactions. I can't change that, but that's the standard way that most softwares work when it comes to managing your inventory. I'm also able to specify as many different warehouses as I want to track stock levels of this product. So as we can see, for this particular product, we have 8 different warehouses with different names, different locations. And if I wish to see a more in-depth view of each of these warehouses, I simply click on the orange arrow and I will be taken to the setup of this warehouse. So we can see this is a dropship warehouse with a tax exempt. It's on this address, it's in this city, so basic information about the location of the warehouse. If I head to the accounting menu, I can see all of the GL accounts that are associated to this specific warehouse. Inventory counting method unit of measurement code basically tells me which unit of measurement will I use when I count the item in my inventory. I can also set the GL accounts by item groups, warehouses, and item levels. I can specify the weight of each of these disposable aluminum foil pans. I can also set a different warehouse by selecting a specific warehouse and clicking on this button. So what this will do is basically handle all of the inventory management for me. Once I specify all of the warehouses that I wish, I can even do inventory transfers between them. So what some organizations even do is they use the inventory warehouse functionality for tracking servicing vans, what they have on the road. So they might have multiple service road delivery vans, and each delivery van has its own warehouse number at any point in time. That means that you can go to that inventory van and you can run a stock take. Now you can see the value of the stock in that inventory van or in any warehouse, and then of course using the inventory transactions that I'm going to show you in a minute, you can even transfer stock backwards and forwards between all of those different locations and track all the underlying accounting transactions that are created by those inventory movements. So I'm also able to specify a planning method within SAP Business One. So not only do we have the inventory functionality we're looking at here, we also have the material requirements planning or MRP functionality available to us in the planning data tab. So I can select my planning method, will be the material requirements planning, which can be pretty useful if, for example, I'm making purchases and I want to take into the consideration the forecasts of the material requirements, but I'm going to show you that in a separate demonstration. I can specify my procurement method for this product. Will I be buying the product or selling the product? I can set the order interval, define new ones, or use the default ones, add the cycle code, add the reoccurrence. I can even have custom order intervals. I can have multiple orders. I can define a minimum order quantity. I can define a checking rule. I can even have lead times and tolerance days. In the production data, I can specify some of the information that are required for the production of this item if I'm going to produce it and not buy it. So if it's an item that's going to be produced in my company, I can choose the issue method, I can choose the bill of materials type, and I can choose if it will be a phantom item. Next, the properties tab gives me some more properties and details about the product. What color is it? From what material is it made? What other properties does it have? Maybe it has some electrical components that are needed for the item. I can define them here more in detail. I can also, like in any form in SAP Business One, I can add some remarks. So as we can see, we have our remarks here, just some details that cannot be found within the properties. I can also add any attachment, so some user guides, some production data, some certificates for the item, anything that might be relevant to the item master data. So you've got a lot of flexibility there, and of course you can record pictures of your products in the item master data and add them here in the attachments. I think it's really helpful to understand exactly how much flexibility you have when you're configuring a product item within SAP Business One. So once you've got your item in here, once you've added it successfully, there are a couple of other things that you can also do. You can create multiple price lists. So just by clicking on the price list, we see that we have a number of different price lists. So in the price lists, and the very first step that you want to take when you're creating a price list is define a base price. So your first price list is based on your base price, and then you can create multiple prices only based on that base price. But also you can put in quantity breaks. And you can even create customer specific price lists. I'd like to quickly show you in inventory as well, without getting into too much detail of exactly how all of these transactions work. For example, you can very quickly and easily transfer inventory from one warehouse to another. So by simply going into the inventory transaction section of the inventory module, heading over to an inventory transfer, I can go in and specify my business partner. It will take all of the information from the business partner master data once again, and as in all of the different forms, I can click on the orange arrow to drill down even more in depth to the related form to that data. So in this case, it took me to the business partner master data. In the top right corner, so in the header of the document, I have my document number, the series, the posting date, which can be changed to whatever I wish. The document date, I have the ability to add a reference document as well if it needed. And here I'm going to specify that I want an inventory transfer from warehouse 1 to warehouse 2. I'm going to use the price list, so I'm going to use the base price, and I'm simply going to specify the item that I wish to be transferred into a different warehouse. We're going to use this item, and as we can see, it's going to be transferred from warehouse 1 to warehouse 2. The quantity will be 1, so I'm just going to transfer 1 for example purposes. I can set my sales employee as well, so we're going to use James Chan. And in the general remarks, just for the accounting part, we can see that it's going to say that it's an inventory transfer for the business partner that is stated above. Simply click on Add. It's going to tell me that I can change this document after I've created it. I'm going to click on Yes. And as we can see, we have successfully created an inventory transfer and transferred that item from warehouse 1 to warehouse 2. If I wish to do so, I also have the copy from function, and I can copy the data from an inventory transfer request. So in most cases, before going through with an inventory transfer, the workflow of this procedure would be to issue an inventory transfer request, fill out all of the data needed in that form, and then simply copying it using this button to an inventory transfer and putting that transfer to life. So as we can see, the form is pretty much the same. So as we can see, the form for the inventory transfer request is pretty much the same. It's just it leaves it as an open document and doesn't issue it immediately. So what a lot of people do is they use that inventory transfer function, they set the customer up as another warehouse, and then they're moving the inventory across to the customer on consignment, and they can just specify that. That is the way how the two warehouses that they're using, and then of course all the underlying accounting transactions kick in as well, to give you the ability to track how much inventory you've got sitting in your balance sheet that's actually out with the customer on consignment. So managing that process is very easy. As well as few other things that you can do in SAP Business One, have the ability to do your cycle counts. So you can do your stock takes. You can specify a particular warehouse that you want to steal your stock take for, and then you generate your inventory count list. You can go through and do your physical inventory count, and then you can record that physical inventory count into SAP Business One through the inventory count function in this module. And then all of the automatic transactions which do the adjustments will be processed for you. A number of other different things that you can do as well are recurring transactions, which we can see here. We can also create templates for our recurring transactions. So when we open up the recurring transactions, we can see the template that was used, what's the transaction type, next execution, reoccurrence period. All of the information that I need are generated automatically, and I create them once and I don't have to worry about them again. I can make any changes that I wish to the template that I created by going into the recurring transactions templates or simply clicking on here. A number of other things that you can do along with the recurring transactions which occur right throughout the entire system. You're also able to go through and do inventory evaluation, which is a little bit more of a complex process, and that's what I want to cover in a standard product demonstration such as this. So along with recurring transactions which occur right throughout the entire system, you're also able to go through and do inventory evaluations, which are a little bit more complex than what I want to cover in a standard product demonstration such as this. But this gives you the ability to go through and recalculate the value of your inventory if you're using a more complex inventory evaluation method. So as far as the reports that are available for you within the inventory module, there is a full range of reports covering things as simple as item listings right throughout to your customer specific price list, through the inventory audit reports, which will show you all the transactions and all the movements that have occurred in your inventory. So if you're operating in an industry that has very high inventory turnover but low inventory margin, you'll know how important it is to have complete visibility over all the transactions that are occurring in your warehouse, and to see where you have issues that are impacting on your profitability, and the inventory audit report, for example, gives you the ability to do just that. So let's go ahead and in our inventory report see our items list. So when I open up the items list, I get prompted with the selection criteria, which will tell me to specify from which item to which item do I want to see the item list. I can choose a specific group or leave it as all if I want to see everything, and I can choose if I want to see item properties. See, we've selected 8 items, so we see our round 8 disposable aluminum pan to our Lagoon vertical milling machine. So we can see all of the items that we selected in our criteria. We can see their stocks, the barcode, the item group, who's the manufacturer, all of the information for those items. I can also see the open items list. So by clicking on the open items list, which is available in almost every module inside SAP Business One, I can see all of the document types that I wish, but in the inventory module it's set by default to inventory transfer request, because that's what you're going to be accessing the most through the open items list in the inventory reports. I can also see the document draft reports. So let's say, for example, I'm creating a document that's related to the inventory and I have to leave to office for some reason. I can see the document that I created as a draft and then come back to it later on, the same way that you can do it in the purchasing and the sales module. I can also see all of my inactive items. I can see my inventory posting list, status of my inventory audit report, which is a more in-depth report that basically gives me a chance to select the dates, to select the specific items, even select GL accounts and warehouses. So basically go drill down as deep as I wish to see the most specific information and the most specific details. So the inventory audit report gives me the ability to go and generate my inventory audit report, where I can pick any one of my products to drill down and see every transaction that occurred. I can see if I had an opening balance, and for example, if I had products coming in, products going out, so I can see every single transaction that occurs and then how that impacts on my current stock level. So the inventory audit report gives you the capability to drill down as deep as you wish into the item, add as many filters as you wish that are offered right here in this form to give you the most in-depth detail about your selection. So I can select specific dates, I can select specific items or a range of items, I can even go into GL accounts, I can choose how do I want to see my audit report, etc. Not only that I can view this on my screen with a single click, I'm also able to go and generate that report out into a printed report format as well. SAP Business One offers you the ability to drill down on the screen first and then to decide if I want to generate a report, rather than having to produce everything in reports and go through tons and tons of reports to try and track the information that I was looking for. So that's the overview of the inventory module in SAP Business One. The goal of this presentation was to go through some of the basic functions, show you how the items look inside SAP Business One. Of course, there are more extended features and more features that we're going to cover off sometime later on, like item management, price lists, the creation of a price list, the pick and pack feature, etc. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.